Hey, what's up? This is Dr. Taylor, and I'm going to share 10 of my favorite products for calming the nervous system. Now, when I say 10 of my favorite products, I always say that Ford says they're better than Chevy, says they're better than Toyota, and you've got to go and test drive them, and you got to figure out what's going to work best for you. But they're all pretty similar. So these are all 10 products that I trust, equally. And if you ask me situationally, or if it's a kid versus an adult, I might have some preferences, but I think that any of these could be good. And the goal is calming the nervous system. So the reason that I thought of doing this video is I just was with somebody, and he's a European client, and his gut is doing a lot better. We've been working on his gut. His gut's doing a lot better. His bloating, his regularity, his food sensitivities, all a lot better, but his sleep is a lot worse. So I was showing him all of these things and just talking about some of the options that are out there and saying, kind of like, let's pick one and try it. But also explaining kind of the logic and the benefit and the differences in formulation and all those things. So I'm just going to show them all to you guys. A lot of these things work on GABA pathway. So I just want to start by saying that all these things and things that you may have heard of, magnesium or chamomile or L-theanine, and these things work on GABA pathways, which is the calming neurotransmitter. Glutamate is excitatory. We also talk a lot about, cortisol is very famous, but adrenaline is excitatory, and GABA is really calming and inhibitory neurotransmitter as far as neurologically with the brain and being able to shut that down. So sometimes that can lead to fear, panic, anxiety. Sometimes that can lead to sleep issues or pain syndromes, or all those things are associated with GABA pathways, I would say. But here's some of the things. So here's numero uno, which is just straight up GABA. So I don't know, it's a liposomal GABA. It's from NuMedica. I've literally got like a who's who of all these supplement brands. I think I've got 4 or 5 or 6 different supplement brands out here. But liposomal GABA, I've used this with success in my kids when they've had red food dyes and things like that, and seen it calm them. But that's the first one. Here's another one that is GABA from Quicksilver. I like Quicksilver as a brand. I love their liposomal delivery. This is one of their most popular supplements, but it's GABA and L-theanine. I've had people in the past that say the L-theanine makes them hyper. So here's another one from Quicksilver that's called LIPOCALM. Now, seriously, as a supplement store owner, one of my concerns is these two are almost the same, but this one doesn't have L-theanine in it, and it has something called pharma GABA, which is a patented GABA that's supposed to be very small and cross the blood-brain barrier more easily. So and sometimes I would say, well, if this one didn't work, try this one, or vice versa. But it's a little bit of trial and error and test driving these things for actual straight up GABA. Here's one called GABATONE. This is probably my favorite. It doesn't have any GABA in it, but it has things like B6, magnesium, zinc, manganese, some vitamins, but then also taurine, valerian, passion flower, L-theanine, and lithium. And lithium is really, really good. And I recently, had a parent ask me, like, are you concerned about the lithium at all? I've read some bad things about it. And I forwarded her to Psychiatry Redefined. Psychiatry Redefined's website has a great webinar about lithium and supplemental lithium, and Dr. James Greenblatt. So it's all about the brain and neurotransmitters. But I said, hey, just if this makes you feel more comfortable with taking lithium, but otherwise, let's try one of these others that doesn't have any lithium. This one's really similar. It's from the same brand. It's called Neurosera. It's a liquid. It has chamomile, passion flower, valerian, L-theanine, but also has a high dose of B12 for methylation, and magnesium taurate, but also has the lithium as well, and then some 5-HTP. So 5-HTP being a tryptophan metabolite and a precursor to serotonin for happiness and mood, and then to melatonin as well. So sometimes we get this kynurenine pathway activation, these other things that can lead to a depletion of melatonin and serotonin, and 5-HTP is not uncommon in the sleep world. In fact, here's the next one. Now, these next two are interesting because, I don't know, the next 4 are interesting, or maybe I'll show this one first, I guess. This is another sleep one. It's called Tranquinox Deep. It's a spray. This one has melatonin. Most of these others don't have any melatonin. I'm not opposed to melatonin, but a lot of people are seeking a sleep aid without melatonin. But this has L-theanine, B6, GABA, 5-HTP, valerian, chamomile, and melatonin. So the same players, the same ingredients, and two restaurants might make the same dish with the same ingredients, but they just might taste different from the two restaurants, right? So you try one or you try another. This one's more the sublingual or spray application, but the ingredients aren't that dissimilar from some of the others we just went through. This one's the old label from this company. It's called Dream, and people love this. Now, they also used to have an older formula that had quite a bit less melatonin. This one has 5 milligrams of melatonin, which is a lot for some people. But B6, B5, a bunch of different herbs, GABA, 5-HTP, astragalus, St. John's wort, etc. But that one's more for sleep. Here's the same company's anxiety version, and it used to be called Dream and Calm. They're switching over all their labels and all their names, so that one will soon be called DreamGenic. This one's called CalmGenic. But again, and it says mood, stress, anxiety support, B1, B6, SAMe, GABA, Mucuna, which is a dopamine thing, tryptophan, DHEA. I don't know, just interesting formulation, but that's the same target: calming the nervous system, calming anxiety, calming stress, things like that. And then the last two, same company as each other, but this one's called AnxiaEase Research Nutritionals, another one of our favorite companies. B6, magnesium, holy basil, ashwagandha, lemon balm, lavender, passion flower, and a few probiotics. And then this one is called Circadian PM, but same concept: calming the nervous system, inducing a sleep state or sleepy, winding down state, without having any melatonin or any sedative effect. But glycine, which I'm surprised that's the first time we've seen that really, but glycine, turmeric, lemon balm, which is Melissa, it's also a great antiviral, magnolia, 5-HTP, L-theanine, and pharma GABA. And a combo for calming histamine as well, which a lot of people don't know this, but histamine is a very important cause of anxiety and insomnia. And it can really, sometimes make people go haywire. So they've added some histamine supporting things into this, which I really love as well. So there's 10 things. Any one of them could help you calm your nervous system, or sometimes a combo of things. But along with all the other things we look into, gut health, detoxification, histamine, dampening inflammation, the goal, I think, with a lot of these is, and for most of the people that I've seen use these, they're very temporary. They're very short term as we work on some of these root causes. And then somebody will say, hey, I don't think I need that anymore. Or they might keep it, as a tool in their tool belt for if they've had a couple bad nights of sleep in a row, then they might still use that occasionally, but usually these are used kind of as a crutch as we're starting to hope for long-term results and no longer have the need for some of those. But 10 supplements that I love them all. I've taken them all, I'm sure. I'm trying to think, but I guarantee I've taken them all. But for calming the nervous system, calming anxiety, inducing sleep, whether it be in the day or at night, and kind of improving that stress resilience is a big part of this as well.